Hi, I'm Debbie from Simply Special Crafts. Today's card I'm really excited to bring you because I think this is one of the prettiest cards I've done in a very long time. This card is using the Regal Swan by Tattered Lace. And we're going to make a die cut that looks like ice. This is the card we're making today. We're using a number of different distress inks to give this nice soft mottled color in the background. We're using Rainbow Mary to exemplify our icy sled. We're making a snowflake out of Rainbow Mary, and then we're going to decorate the inside too. So let's go ahead and get started. As usual, we'll take a look first at the supplies that we're going to use. Of course, I'm going to use a 5x7 card because I'm doing lots of distress inking on it. I'm going to use a heavyweight one this time. This is one of the 300 GSM cards from Paper Mania. We need a 5x7. These are the dies we're using today. Here's that Regal Swan. For those of you who are keeping track, that's number 408724. Regal Swan from Tattered Lace. You've seen me use these a number of times before. In fact, I've lost my packaging, but this is the Leaping Reindeer die from Hot Off the Press. What I want to use off of here is it just has really beautiful snowflakes, so we're going to use those. We've used this one before also. This is the Merry Christmas from D's Distinctively. We're going to use the cedar sprigs from D's Distinctively. Again, those of you who have followed our videos for a while may have this die in your collection because I featured this in a lot of the cards that were done a couple of years ago. And once again, right along with the cedar sprigs, we're going to use this mini poinsettia die also from D's Distinctively, another one that we've used quite a lot in our videos. That's because it's terrific. In addition, I'll be using my iridescent white glitter, my glitter brush, and coffee filter. I'm going to use my fine line glue bottle. I'm going to use my low-tack tape to tighten my dies down. I'm going to use my teal jewel dazzles. I can't tell what the number is, but you can find them in the store under round jewel dazzles teal. And I'm going to use distress inks. I'm going to use the Salty Ocean and Tumbled Glass distress inks. Probably need my pokey tool. You've seen me use that a lot. And I've got some baby wipes here just because. I'm also using one of these makeup sponges. These are expensive, but they are definitely worth it. If you don't have this, you can use a dauber for this job, or you can use the cosmetic wedges, anything that will give you a really soft finish. So I'm going to use this, but there's a number of tools you can use for this job. That's it. Okay, I've got my dies all taped down here to my Mary board. You hear me say this all the time, but I really want to encourage you, if you're using multiple dies at a time, tape those dies in place so they don't overlap in your machine. I learned that the painful way. So I think I'm going to try this without a shim to begin with. We'll see how it goes. I actually have a lot loaded in here, and it can be kind of hard to crank if you get a shim and too many dies in. So let's just try it and see what we get to begin with. I hear a little crackling there. I'm going to actually flip my plate over, and I'm going to go through again. You can tell that my cutting plates are well loved, well used. And it looks like our flowers may need just a little bit more, and it actually looks like our swan might need a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and get my shim here. Let's see what we get. I'm thinking we should be there. Flowers popping out, that's a good sign. feel like we should have Christmas music or something on here, honey. I love these really fine alphabets. I love the fine lettering. But it does add a little bit of extra work because when you're cutting out such fine letters, it's easy for them to kind of stretch and pull them apart, but you can push them right back together when you glue them down. And you see that I had that kind of all cattywampus, but now it looks just fine. So. I know there's lots and lots of pretty snowflakes out there, so you may have a favorite one that you like to use with your brands. And these hot off the press dies have ejection foam, and usually they come out pretty good, but I consistently have a hard time with this one little snowflake die. And there's lots of different things you can try to get it out of there. You'll notice this one doesn't have any pokey holes in the back. I think that was an error on their part that they didn't give us one. Now, I can come in from the front, but I want to give you a word of caution about this. It's easy, easy, easy to scratch your die coming in from the front. So if you come in from the front of your die and you're poking at it, be sure you're going to the side instead of straight down, because if we scratch that die in here, especially if we're cutting mirror board, I see the problem. The ejection foam's actually gone out of this one. But if you scratch this on the insides of your die, it will emboss that scratch right into everything you cut with that die. So you really, really don't want to scratch them. Extra layers behind each one. I don't really need to layer the individuals. I'm going to go ahead and take my swan out and weed it, and we'll be right back. Okay, have all of my pieces cut, weeded, and ready to go. We're going to go ahead and get our card ready now. This technique I'm going to show you, many of you know, and I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but we do have a lot of people who watch our videos who are new to card making, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the basics here. When we are using a distress ink to create this soft finish around the outside and actually around the inside of our card, we'll start with our lightest color first. We'll dip our sponge into our ink pad, and then we're going to actually pounce some of it off. Then we'll use a very soft circular motion to go around our card. You only want a little bit of ink on your sponge when you're doing this part of things. So it seems odd that you dip it and then you knock part of the ink off, but that's exactly what I want you to do. You can always add more, so we're going for a very soft finish around. This is a really useful technique when you just want to have a really nice little border around something without adding a lot of color, just adding a little bit. See, I got a little bit more in that one spot that I wanted. And I'm just going to blend that out a little bit by making it just a shade darker around that. It'll be okay. And come back in and do a little bit more inking around that one spot. That's the beauty of having you watch me do something live, because you'll see that things don't always turn out the way I want them to, but they always turn out pretty in the end. So it's the things that we all do. And it's okay that some places are lighter and darker, because that's kind of the way it is in nature, right? Especially since what I'm going for here is kind of an icy finish. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm going to go ahead and do the inside because I also use this color on the inside. And since you've just seen a thorough demonstration of that, let's just go off camera while I finish this part. Just smoothing out around that spot on the bottom again. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and switch. The one we've been using was the tumbled glass. Now we're going to use the salty ocean. And I just want to darken this up just a little bit at the bottom. Now you can see if you don't pounce this off, this is going to be a very intense color, but we just want to add a little bit more intensity to what we're doing here. So pounce off quite a bit of that ink. Sure. Going along here. Maintain that circular motion. And I think I like that. I think we got it just where we want it. So we're going to go ahead and let's start adding our elements. First element I'm going to add is my big sled. I'm going to use my little detail glue bottle. It's a little needle tip. Every time I use this, people say, "What was that?" It's just these little needle tip glue bottles I brought in from China. And we have them available in the store. They were very inexpensive. I was delighted about that. You'd expect to spend $4 to $6 a piece, but we have these little glue bottles for $2 in the store. I found a great supplier for them. So we do have these available. I'll put it on your supplies list. If you're a newsletter subscriber, you'll get a list of everything that we used and links to those products in the store. I like that you get enough ink to keep it dry while you're working, to keep it wet while you're working. I can put down a nice line, but not so much that it is going to be messy on my card. And I'm just basically following the outline, guys, all the way around my swan. I've done the head. I'm going to come in, I'm going to do these sled rails. I thought about making the sled rails silver, and then I decided now what I really, really want it to do is to look like the whole thing's icy. And I think we kind of accomplished that with the mirror board. You can tell me whether or not you think we accomplished that, but I like the finished look. So I've gone all the way around it with my glue. I'll go ahead and put my sled on my card and slightly back so that I have a little bit of room in front of her. Could be him, I don't know. Now I want to show you something else here that's important when you're gluing this. Even though this glue dries clear, it's still going to show on the mirror board as a little cloudy patch. See that little patch I got right there? Just take a very just lightly moistened paper towel, or in my case baby wipes. I love having baby wipes on my craft table. And you can clean up any little spots that you need by just very lightly going over it. It won't hurt your mirror board as long as it's just slightly damp, but no more sign of glue anywhere. Okay, we're going to go ahead and assemble our snowflake. I could, if I chose to, put some foam pads in here and create more dimension, but I like the way this particular snowflake looks, just layered. So I'm going to layer up my pieces here, staggering my elements. Put my little one in the center there. And then I'm going to put a jewel right in the middle of that. And that makes a really fabulous snowflake. I like it. Put a little glue on the back here. And we'll move to the inside of our card. Okay, my jewel is slightly off center there. Let's see if I can straighten it up just a tad. That's the other nice thing about glue is it kind of lets you move things. Yeah, I like that now. Okay, on to the inside. And I'm going to make an arrangement of cedar boughs and poinsettias, all done in Merry. And I'm going to put down my Merry Christmas. I'm just going to lay my elements out to begin with so I can see where I want things. Now see, look at these little strands we have here. I don't know if you can see them on camera, but look at these little strings. Those little strings are actually bits of paper. Every time you take a pass through the machine, you know, there's a microscopic difference in how much it cuts, and these little strings are just bits of paper and bits of Merry that were the difference in the cuts. Just pull them off, they're fine. I like to pull them off though because they can catch the glue and kind of mess up your lettering a little bit, so just pull those off, get them out of your way. Okay, I'm going to layer up my flowers. I want a little cap really flies around sometimes. I like the fact that it's attached though, because I'm not losing them all the time, and because it does float around, it reminds me to put the cap back on my bottle. Which is a good thing to be reminded of if you're me. And you're not good at doing that if you're not reminded.
How many layers are you making your flowers?
I'm just going to use 3, I think. Put a medium size center in this one, just using my teal jewels again. Just like the way that the teal works with the mirror board and with our background colors. I'm going to make a smaller one for the top corner. I could put as many layers as I wanted. I mean, we could really stack these up if you wanted to, and if you like that look, go for it. But I think 3 or 4 layers is usually sufficient. Okay, I want this one, just because I'm doing it on camera, I keep getting these centers off center. There we go. Okay, got that one, that one. I'm going to want this little piece up here. We'll have a few extra blooms, that's okay. I'm going to take a couple of pieces off of the bottom of this. And then I'm going to put those out to the side here. Just so we have some foliage coming out that side as well. Let's glue it down. I'll start by gluing down my cedar sprigs. And again, my little glue bottle is going to get the job done nice. I'm not going to try and put glue on every little point that comes out. I'm just going to run down the main pieces here. Put that one here. This one here. It's okay if those overlap a little bit. I'm going to put my larger flower right at the intersection of those two. I'm going to come up here, I'm going to get this one, put a little glue on it. Doesn't take a lot of glue to hold these guys. The most common mistake I see with glue is applying too much.
Is there a special glue you put in your bottles?
I use Cosmic Shimmer glue because that's what I have available. I haven't tried some of the others, but of the glues that we sell, my favorites are Tattered Lace and Cosmic Shimmer. I happen to use Cosmic Shimmer here because I had it available in those big bottles that got damaged in shipment, so I was looking for a solution since the tips had been damaged on those big bottles of Cosmic Shimmer for how I could still apply that glue when I came across these little glue bottles. And these have been a dandy solution. I really like those. Okay, do the same thing with my lettering. I don't have to completely cover every letter, just a couple of critical spots on each letter just to hold my lettering in place. I'll put this over here so people can see how much I'm using. But I'm just going very lightly, just a little touch in the major areas of the letters. I'm not trying to outline every letter. That would take all night. And more of those little threads. Not at all uncommon to get those, especially since we took several passes through the machine. You can always take your tweezers and pull those off too. Lettering pretty straight. My Y could come up just a little. One more little thread off there. There we go. There's our inside. There's our beautiful outside. And that's our Regal Swan. If you enjoy these videos and want to continue to know when new videos are available, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. They'll let you know when a new video is out there. And if you subscribe to our newsletter on our website at www.simplyspecialcrafts.com, I'll actually send you both a link to the video and a supplies list with links to all of the products so that you can shop for them easily, or at least explore them a little further if you're interested in doing so. I'm Debbie from Simply Special Crafts. We'll see you next time.